Welcome to the video produced by me, Cambridge David, in partnership with Yasurga, the leading brand for IELTS training in China. And today we're going to be sharing something that you can use in any Part 2 question. Now in Part 2, many of the questions ask you to describe a person. But even if you get another question about an event or a place, you can still say that you did that event or you go to that place with a particular person. So it really helps if you have a character you know you can talk about. So today we're going to just invent a character, and I can use that in any question at all. So first of all, let's give our character a name. I'm going to call my character John. Then think, how do you know John? They could be your neighbour, your classmate. Maybe you play a particular sport with them. Maybe they're a boyfriend, girlfriend, something like that. And then try and think of how to describe that person. Try and pick one particular feature rather than 10 different things. So the thing I love about John is that he's a little bit chubby. Chub is a nice way to say that they're overweight or fat. John is a little bit chubby because he loves eating fast food. Okay? Think of one particular thing about him. Try and use a really nice adjective. Don't just say that John is funny or nice or kind. Anybody can do that. Try and search for a less common adjectives. For example, John is really hospitable. Hospitable. That means he's very kind to guests. He's very welcoming. He's always inviting them to McDonald's because he's so chubby. Okay? Maybe he could be very warm-hearted, meaning kind. Or perhaps he's very vivacious. Vivacious, which means that he's a really lively, fun person to be with. So think of a good adjective. Then if you can, try and find an idiom to talk about your character. And here are a few nice idioms you can use. You can say that John is a barrel of laughs. A barrel of laughs. That means that he's always making you laugh. He's a very funny person. He's a barrel of laughs. You could say that you are like chalk and cheese. You're like chalk and cheese, meaning that you're totally different. And this gives you an opportunity to use two adjectives that are the opposite of each other. So John is really sociable, whereas I'm a little bit shy. Okay? You could say that you get on like a house on fire. To get on like a house on fire means that you are the best of friends. You really enjoy being together. You get on like a house on fire. Or maybe you can say that you go back a long way. John and I, we go back a long way, meaning that you've known him for a long time. Okay, so now we've created our character. So let's take a look how we could use that in some real IELTS questions. Now there's a question on the exam at the moment asking you to describe a foreigner who speaks your language very well. And I'm going to tell you about John. John was a classmate of mine. We go back a long way. I've known him since my freshman year. And John is a little bit chubby because he loves to eat fast food, but he's extremely vivacious. He's always talking with people. He's so friendly and he's really hospitable, inviting people to his room, to his house. And I think that's why he's so good at speaking my language, because he's always talking with people. We're a little bit like chalk and cheese, actually, because I'm very shy. I find it hard to start conversations. but John is so vivacious, and that's why he loves speaking and using this language. You see, we've adapted it to answer that question. Let's look at another one. There's a question that asks you to describe a person who has interesting ideas and opinions. And I'm going to tell you about my friend, John. We go back a long way, and John is such a barrel of laughs. He comes out with these crazy ideas, and he's so vivacious that he's always talking to people about them. For example, he thinks that fast food is really healthy. That probably explains why he's a little bit plump, because he's always eating it. So even though John and I are like chalk and cheese, I really like him, and I quite like some of his interesting ideas. So you see, whatever the question, you can adapt your template character to suit that particular question. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon on another video with me, Cambridge David.